Thank you for the introduction. So yeah, welcome back, everybody. I think this is quite a tricky time of the day because you saw a lot of presentations, very interesting elements pass by, and it's my task to keep you alive and to, so stay with me, hopefully. I'm here to present our trend presentation. Like Marcelo said, I'm Client Brand Director at Cartils, which is a branding and packaging design agency. And I'm based in Hong Kong. I will just give you... we'll just give you a slight introduction who we are, what we do. So besides Hong Kong, we also have an office in Amsterdam, in London, and we recently also started in Miami. The first office was in Amsterdam, where we started in 1960. So we are already quite some time in the market. And then we expanded globally. Because our clients are mainly global clients all around the world we serve. It's basically in the fast-moving consumer goods sector. So we have a lot of beverages clients, and to even more specific, a lot of alcoholic clients. We do a lot of beer, liquors, vodka, so you name it, a lot of wine we also do. Some non-alcoholic, so also water, some fruit juices. And the services we offer is mainly packaging design. We do the redesigns, but also limited editions, new product developments, and line extensions, but also besides the primary packaging, secondary packaging and POS material. And for us, it's really important not only to create designs, but also to look at the brand strategy. So it's really intertwined in our philosophy. One of our growing services is the VBI, Visual Brand Identity. Last year, we got a lot of requests from clients to make a kind of booklet to show like how do you treat your brand on all touch points worldwide. So this is a growing service we saw. To service our clients even better, every year we develop a trend presentation where we look at global trends. We do that for ourselves, just to keep in mind what's going on in the world, and also because we are dealing with a lot of global clients, with a lot of global brands. We need to know what's going on, and to find some gaps where to innovate. So that's a little bit, about me. I'm also really curious to know who I have in front of me. I think I know, but maybe I'm wrong. So can you raise your hand if you are from Asia? Yeah, as already expected, quite a lot, of course, because we're in Shanghai. Are there also European people in the room? Me, myself, as well. Good. Australians? Do we have Australians people today? No? North America? Welcome. South America? Welcome. But actually the main question is, who sees himself or herself as a global citizen? Okay, I expected a little bit more. Because the thing is, we are so much intertwined with each other, with north, south, middle of the world, also because of the online. What happens in one part of the world really influence and impact the other side of the world. So that's also why we develop a global trend presentation. And of course, it's really important to take into account every country, every region. I think like Marcelo also presented in his presentation is that people have different emotions, associations, but we're living in a global world, global citizens, so that's why we looked into this. Oh. Yes, and to define the trends, it's really important to have a look at the happenings in the world, because happenings in the world, events in the world, shape movements and define the trends. So what we do is we always look back, like what happened in 2014? What was what happened in this year and what shaped the trends. And I think an interesting company who did this is Google. And I'm totally aware that Google here is not really the most accessible company. But they did really a nice thing. They had the look like what were the most searched terms in 2014 which shaped the global mood.
Here's what gives us hope. The world knows how to fight this disease.
Here we go. Ready?
Did you hear those words?
Just rendezvousing with this comet is an extraordinary thing. We're going to make discoveries that no one's imagined yet.
Yeah, so that's a nice summary of how Google sees what happens in 2014. Oh, sorry. So yes, we are not a trend agency. We are a branding and packaging design agency. So we are not a trend guru. So we have to have a look at all the sources, all other trend gurus, to make an ultimate summary of the global trends. So what we do each year is we gather all the information from all the trend resources globally to make a summary. And our strategy team is then making dots in this diagram, which is the extrovert, introvert, and me and we, probably well known for most of you. And these dots we cluster into 5 trends, which are initiate, collaborate, make, explore, and monitor. And of course, I will go through them with you. What we do is we look at the trends and then translate that to branding and packaging examples. The most interesting of doing this is we're doing this every year. So you can easily have a look what's changed in previous year, from 2013 to 2014. I'm not going to explain you all the trends from 2013, but I think what's good to see is that we're actually changed more a little bit to extroverts. I think I just forget something. Yeah, sorry, because I'm using the different things. What I forgot to say is that if you look at what the total theme, the main theme of this year, is the age of disruption, which means that we are living in a chaotic world. So the world is in instability, is in unbalance. We see a lot of things happening, like negative things, like the Ebola virus epidemic, but also the IS attack. We saw also positive things like Malala, who won the Nobel Prize, but also some scientific improvements. So I just want to capture on that. And then we have a look what kind of trends are there. So these were the 5 trends. The first one is initiate. This is all about having local initiatives which started very, very small on a local scale, but really grew rapidly into a global success. So what you see, for example, when you look at media touchpoint is, like I said, Malala Yousaf, who was trying to get a better education in Pakistan. Started very small, and suddenly she became a huge success, and she even won the Nobel Prize. Or Bring Back Our Girls from Nigeria, which also started as a small Twitter campaign locally, and suddenly was like a Twitter campaign worldwide, and even supported by Michelle Obama. Or Elton John, who boycotted Dolce & Gabbana because they made a comment about IVF babies, which was actually just what he wanted, but suddenly everybody was connected to this event. So how do you translate this then to brands? So when you look at brands, it's very important that they still show their local heritage. Even though they have global success. For example, here you have Filippa K and Ilse Jacobsen, which are Danish and Swedish brands. And although they have global success, they really try to capture, like, we're from Sweden, we're from Denmark. That means that we have quality. They show their identity. And this helps them in their export activity. But also Fritz Cola, it's called, is from Hamburg, which started as a small company in Hamburg, positioned themselves as like 2 founders, locally, small scale. But suddenly they were booming in Europe, and now they have, they sell a lot there. But the thing, what they do is, they're not selling like, oh, now we're internationally. No, they're focused still on where they're coming from to show their identity. But it's also interesting to look at what global brands are doing now, because I just showed you some examples of local brands. What global brands are doing, they also try to get back to the heritage. So for example, Bacardi, they made a redesign where they have more, Art Deco style logo and a retro bread. So they just went back and said, hey, we are already there for a long time. Have a look. We are so much passionate about rum. So focusing on the Cuban heritage. Instead of redesigns, you can also do that through line extensions. Diageo made for Guinness a line extension, Dublin Porter and West Indies Porter. It's based on the 18th century notebooks of Arthur Guinness. I'm really wondering if it's true, but that's what they say. And they made this retro packaging also to underline a small-scale style and to following this craft movement, because I'm sure you know that the craft beer movement is really booming, not only in Europe, but also here in Asia. So they're really trying to have also a say in this. Or you can do it with limited editions, like Grand Marnier did a tribute to the French creativity, or Jamesons with their Dublin Heritage Day show. But there's also a backlash, because if everybody is local, if everybody is pretending to be a hipster and wearing moustache, like while you were crafting your moustache, we were crafting our beer. What is Garagista saying? If everybody's doing that, then we're just becoming a mainstream. So there are other companies also like Budweiser who's jumping into this and say, we're just a macro beer, we're just making very good beer. If you don't think it's also okay, but that's what they say. Get rid of that local trend. Yeah, so they say, yeah, well, they were brewing their pumpkin ale, whatever. We were just brewing very good beer. Interesting, though, is that after this was launched, there was a Twitter campaign saying, yeah, but Budweiser, you also own Blue Moon, which is a craft beer. So, no, don't say that. So just to summarize, Initiate is really about impact of very local initiatives, global success, mainly also through the mobile internet, which made that possible. On a design level, that's like you can focus on your roots by redesigns, by line extensions, by limited editions to underline your identity. The second one is collaborate, and it says together we can change the world, which sounds a little bit Michael Jackson way, but this is where it's all about. It's about together we can create a better world, to create a positive change. For example, like years ago you had more the CSR movement, and now it's really like collaborating instead of focusing only on one company. So when you look at media touchpoints, of course we had the Hong Kong protests, the power of the community to challenge unfairness they felt. But also like the Ice Bucket Challenge, which went worldwide, really like collaborating and motivating each other to get some money for a good cause. And of course collaborating is also very much, when you look at Kickstarter, due to Kickstarter a lot of new companies or new initiatives can be found. So when you translate that to brands, is that for brands it's really important to acknowledge their role in sustainable future. So instead of focusing on what they are doing in normal life, they're trying to have collaborations. For example, Carlsberg collaborated with EcoXpac. It's a 3-year project where they develop a biodegradable wood fiber bottle. I'm not sure if there's somebody from Carlsberg in the room, because I'm really curious if this is not marketing stunt or really the case that they're going to do that. Or Yux, which is an Italian online fashion retail shop. What they did, they collaborate with designers, the 4 top designers, and they made really beautiful mouth caps, also to create awareness and to gain money to plant trees in northwest China to make there the environment better. And instead of collaborating with a company or designers, you can also motivate and collaborate with your own consumers. This is some Europe examples from Original Unverpackt, which is in Germany. And they say, like, you know, packaging is actually not good for the environment. So just bring your own jar, just bring your own bag, and you can have some rice, spaghetti, what else you want. Of course, this is not really good for the business I am in, but it's good for the environment. Or the brand Fresh, which say, bring your old perfume bottle and we can refill it for you. So there are a lot of initiatives by brands to stimulate also and motivate consumers to be more aware of the environment. A company which also jumped into this is McDonald's. This was in Sweden, because in Sweden there are a lot of, not only in Sweden, but in Sweden there are some festivals with a lot of youngsters which bring their own cans, throw it away. So they say, hey, just collect 10 cans, 40 cans, and you can have a hamburger or even a Big Mac if you have 40 cans. Also to stimulate the youngsters to recycle. In this trend of collaboration, it's also a lot about sharing. Sharing, that is really like, the future. This is BitLock, which was a Kickstarter project. And what they say is like, they want to have more convenience for consumers. So instead of having your key, you have a code and Bluetooth, and you can just open with your code on your mobile your bicycle. And even better, you can share this code with family and friends who can use your bicycle. I think you have to stay good friends and have good family bonds, otherwise your bicycle gets stolen, but that's another thing. So just to summarize, is really about collaborating together to create a positive change. So it's really important for brands to make a good connection with your consumers, to establish this. The third one is make, which is about the tools of innovations now belong to everyone. Because nowadays, there's a lot of expertise you can use. You can go on the internet and find everything you can do. You can make it yourself. It's about stop dreaming, start doing, because the tools are available. So this is really about the rise of the makers. The cult of the craftsmanship continues to grow. So it's really important that you can make something, that you can have a craftsmanship you can do. So what we saw in the media is that, for example, 4D printing is now important. Everybody know about 3D printing, but nowadays there's also 4D printing, a next level. And like 3D printing was accessible for everybody, I think 4D printing will also. If you're interested in it, you can look at TEDx for more information. But another initiative by Europe was the European Code Week, where they gathered a lot of people together and they shared how to learn apps, how to learn to make websites, because they said that technology is so rapidly, so changing fast, we need to have more people who can make apps or who can make websites. An example here is from Jägermeister. It's called Concept 56, which gathered a lot of young creatives, young project managers together, put them in a room and said, we want a new event, and the new generation is going to make that event and has a say in that. And we can just mentoring you and give you some advice, but we want to do this together, and yeah, it's called All Under One Roof. Or like what Grols did when their 400 years anniversary, they asked 400 artists to make the new limited edition pack, also to create something, to make something, to be in a creative crowd. What Glenlivet did, whiskey brand, famous whiskey brand, is they developed a platform where they ask consumers, what should we do next? What is the next flavor? What do you want? So with a lot of discussions and ideas, they finally came with Guardian. And I think, this is just the first start for them. This is an example which I find really, really interesting. It's Swallowbar perfume. Not sure if you heard about it, but I think everybody is in a situation where you're afraid that you're sweating and that you're not smelling really nice. But this is a very nice solution. You swallow perfume and your sweat will, like flowery or very nice. And I think it started as a research, but now it's really on the market. It's developed on genetic makeup from consumers, and you can buy it. So just to summarize, the power to create is not democratic. It's really about stop dreaming, start doing. The tools are available there, the expertise is there, so you can do it yourself. It's really important for brands that they collaborate with designers or with consumers to develop here. Explore is the next one. It's about discovering new means of self-expression. And this is kind of a big trend. I think this one was there also last year. But it's even growing bigger. And it's really about the choices you make in life, the activities you do in life that shows who you are, and in this sense you can express. The brands you are buying is a kind of self-expression. And self-expression is like very easy nowadays. Facebook, Instagram, all the other tools, you can really express yourself. So there's also actually a kind of backlash that people are saying, I'm so intense busy with expressing myself, I just need to go out in the nature and be one day offline and throw my mobile away. So there's a little bit an unbalance there. And the media touchpoints, the selfie stick, of course, is very famous here in Asia. But it's also becoming a tool which is used worldwide. And it's even so intense use that, for example, youngsters in Hong Kong are going on the highest building, making pictures, share it online, like, hey, cool, like what I did. About self-expression speaking, Conchita, who won the Eurovision Song Festival, And it's not because she was really singing nice, beautiful, it's because she made a statement, she expressed herself. But also technology-driven, like the self-driven car, makes us, we gain more freedom to explore more valuable things in life, and also therefore to express ourselves. And one brand which is going into that's going into freedom is the Herschel brand. I'm not sure if you know it, but it's a very famous brand in Europe. I have a lot of Amsterdam colleagues who wear this. It's make a kind of statement about I'm very adventurous, exploration, living on the wild side. Therefore, the bags are very simplistic, but natural material. And this trend is also about pop-up stores. Pop-up stores just to explore a brand in another way for a short while, especially for fans. This is Cornuit. It's from Grolsch. It's introduced in Holland, more for the hipster environment. And they made a pop-up store where you can come and you can put your music on a really vinyl plate, just to show also other people like, hey, cool, I made this, and just to express yourself. Or what Sony did is they made a pop-up store in Dubai for 3 days, where they invited some fans to really dive and have a look at the Sony equipment underwater, because they launched a whole line with water-resistant products. So it's also go there and expressing, explore the brand in another way. And Bud Light is doing this also more obvious. They introduced a limited edition during the Super Bowl, where they put really like text like "catch the cameraman" and "do this and do that," and also in the campaign it's really like looking for your boundaries, do something what you normally don't do, just to push the youngsters to go a step further. What is a remarkable example here is what Coca-Cola did. Is they made a redesign where they really put Coca-Cola as the main brand, and after like Zero and the original as a secondary statement. But what most remarkable is their positioning. They changed from open happiness to choose happiness, because they say we are Coca-Cola, so you already choose happiness when you buy Coca-Cola, but you make a choice what kind of happiness. So that's why they built Coca-Cola as a larger positioning. And I think this trend is also very much on here in Asia, because you see that that traditional values are more important, for example, than in Europe. Family bonds are more important. So what brands are trying now to do, especially under youngsters, to push themselves here as well, and to go beyond these traditional values. And I think Tiger, with their Uncaged campaign, is a good example of this. They say really go for your individual passion, and don't let you how do you say it, hold back by individual by family and traditional values. I think everybody knows this campaign, but I'm not sure. Well,
when you dream of being a tattoo artist, the cages are huge. Mine was growing up in a place where the expectation was to start a family and settle down. But my passion took me down a different path. One that showed if you're brave and nimble, you can slip between the bars. Life is about following that fire inside you. Uncage.
Yeah, so life is following that fire inside of you. That is what they're saying. Another example is Levi's with their Live It Up campaign. was introduced during Chinese New Year in February. And they also say, don't go, actually they say, don't go to your family because just go out and express yourself and have some fun. Also to try to push the youngsters in a different way. When you translate it to packaging, the self-expression part and the exploration, this is a good example of a good agro estate. What they did is they didn't write on the wine what kind of wine it is, but due to face expressions, they explain what it is. So, for example, on the right side, you have more younger faces, so this is more an accessible wine. While on the other side, here on the left, you have more like older faces, actually telling this is more a complex wine, more for people who are, already know a lot about wine. So, actually, very funny example how you can present that to your consumers. And this is also about exploration. So the connoisseurship is very important. This is from Time Oak, and they deliver a kind of wooden part when you buy the whiskey. And depends on what you want and what you like. You can put the wood in the whiskey, and let it there for 24 hours, and you have a more complex taste of your whiskey. And what we see is that rituals becoming also very important nowadays. At the moment we're making a special presentation about this as well, because rituals become, it's also exploring the brand in a different way. And this is from Highland Park. If you order Highland Park, the bartender will come with a kind of chamber infusion. You can put it over the glass and you get a peat smoke. So you're not ordering just a normal glass of whiskey, but you're ordering a total experience with it. So just to summarize, it's really crucial to be original and to express yourself. And for brands, I think it's very nice if they can give a tool to consumers in order that they can do that as well. The last one is monitor. And when I started, I said we are in this age of disruption. So we are in a chaotic world, things happening, negative things, positive things. But in general, we are looking for control about this. So it's really about regaining control of our lives. And that you can do that by doing it yourself, or you can have brands doing that for you. So when you look at the media touch points, it's like already the Ebola panic, what I told you about, is that the panic came and then we need to control this virus because otherwise it's spreading around the world. But also in 2014 there were a lot of plane crashes. And interesting part is that human beings are starting to make some theories behind it, like why did this happen? Can we do it another way next time? And the iCloud, which was hacked, was also big in the news, putting our data as a risk. So we need to control this. When you translate it to brands, this is, for example, John McAfee's decentral Android app. You can just download the app on your mobile device, and then it will tell you which of the apps are using your data, are using your pictures. So you're really getting into control of your own data. And this is a nice collaboration about Uber and Spotify. It's like if you're in a taxi and you don't like the music of the taxi driver, you can just plug in your mobile and listen to your own music. So really like gaining control of your own time, of your own experience. And this is not really, really new. It's self-monitoring for a healthy lifestyle. But what is interesting is that nowadays it's more like becoming an accessory. So a lot of companies, for example, Fitbit, created this kind of watch almost, where you can self-monitor the steps you took and how healthy you are. So it's really becoming an accessory. You can just, I think, in Hong Kong, where I'm based, a lot of people are wearing this. And it's also about doing yourself, because we don't trust all the big companies anymore, or particular companies anymore. So we do want to do it ourselves. On YouTube, you can find a lot of movies about how do I make this or how do I make that. So for everybody here who has dry hair, take one avocado, a banana, eggs, some honey, mayo, some oil, mix it, put it in your hair, and your hair won't be dry anymore. And this lovely lady will explain it to you if you don't know how to do it. It's also helping or supporting minorities in particular countries to control also their lives. This is from Halal Minds, which started, I think started also in Europe, but now it's in Japan and preparing for more countries. They tell Muslims where they can find their halal products and where it's good, because they of course never know if it's really halal or not. So this is gaining control of supporting a minority group. When you translate this trend to packaging, is that we see is that the packaging becoming more scientific. So when you look at, for example, Lumos, they made a kind of label where they really tell you where the grapes are from, how much sun it had, temperature, etc., etc. Really to be as transparent as possible and to be honest as possible. And even to the extreme, like blend and press, which is almost like a medicine, just to show, to get a feeling like, okay, this is really in control, this is good, this is honest. And if we cannot control the brands, we can control the way we consume it. So, for example, Glacial in Brazil, they had an advertising, and they said, put the advertising, wrap it out of your magazine, put it under water in the fridge, then wrap it around your bottle, and your bottle will be like for a longer time cool. So this is a way how we, to control how we consume it. Another great example, probably you know this, is Kirin in Japan. This started 2 years ago. They started to make a kind of frozen foam on their beer. So if you order a Kirin beer, you get a frozen foam extra on it, and this helps to have the beer like for a longer time cool. But they in 2 years time they doubled the shops, and they also made a home version, so you can do it even at home. So this is also a way to control how you consume a beer. So just to summarize, is that we're living in a chaotic world nowadays, and we need to get control of our lives. So for brands, it's really important that they also give the tools, support consumers, and also be as transparent as possible to be clear. So just to summarize, we have Initiate, which is local initiatives having global success. So show your identity and show where you're coming from. And collaborate, which is together we can change the world. All of kind of a community and collaborations for sustainable environment. And make is the tools of innovations belong to everyone. Stop dreaming, start doing. And explore is discovering new means of self-expression. And the last one, monitor, control your life. So this was it. Are there any questions? No? Okay, thank you very much.